And thanks for linking into the Bigfoot Evidence Breaking News Network. I'm Reverend Job, host of the Squatchers Lounge podcast and Bigfoot commentator. Joining me is editor-in-chief of BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com and secret agent reporter Shawn Evidence. How you doing today, Shawn?
Good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. We also have Rictor Riolo, host of the After Hours with Team Tazer. And today we're talking about the Dr. Meldrum interview podcast coming up here shortly. This is going to be released by Rictor himself. So what was the interview being held about today there, Rictor?
Hey, we were talking to Dr. Meldrum about everything in the Bigfoot community. We talked about the cool stuff, the stuff that brings a lot of respect to Bigfooting, the Falcon Project, and how he hopes it'll be up and running by this summer. He also talked about his new Bigfoot field guide that he just had recently published, which is pretty darn cool. And he talked about a little bit of the psych study. And, of course, we talked about Dr. Ketchum's three-ring circus and how she has inadvertently proven that Wookiees are real. And we talked about Chewbacca's mid-tarsal break. Sasquatch's mid-tarsal break and how it's great for rough terrain. He answered a lot of questions, and it kind of got a little awkward toward the end when we were talking about his trip to Russia with that whole, thing with the Yeti in the cave and how it was all hoax in front of him and calling the Russians out on their bullshit. And those are my words, not his. So, yeah, talked about everything.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic, Rictor. Now, when he was talking about the Falcon Project, Shawn and I earlier were talking about that technology. Did he get into any specifics?
Yes, he did, actually, and he told me that it'll be very, very quiet to get the rabbit. See, you got to be quiet looking for Bigfoot. I thought it was going to be loud as hell, but the thing's going to be very, very quiet. So, yeah, talked about that, definitely.
Well, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, Shawn, after you and I were talking about that, do you have any questions for Rictor about his interview?
I want to know what did you guys talk about Ketchum's giant lemur theory at all? I mean, Ketchum is saying, according to her DNA study, that Bigfoots are possible relatives of giant lemurs. Did you guys talk about that? What did he say?
Absolutely, and it was like the comedy hour because he was talking about Gigantopithecus and where it was located on, the continent, the Asian area of the continent with the land bridge, and how it makes sense for like the Gigantopithecus coming over the land bridge, and how the other animal, the Australopithecus, I can't say the word, could have been another animal that had gigantism. I'm like, Dr. Meldrum, there's also a third creature that had gigantism. And he's like, what? And I'm like, the giant lemur. It was very, very funny.
That's awesome. That's absolutely fantastic. So everybody make sure that you get ready to tune into the Team Tazer page here shortly. Coming up at 7 p.m. tonight Pacific time is when Rictor's shooting to actually have the podcast put up with Dr. Meldrum and Tammy Murray and their new special Sasquatch detective. You'll have to tune in to find out who that is. And now, is there anything else we wanted to cover this afternoon while we're here?
Well, since Rictor posted up at 7 o'clock Pacific time, I'm going to post on Bigfoot Evidence, so you guys can check it up on BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com.
Oh, but wait. Sorry to interrupt. Wait, guys, you forgot to tell them that this is a two-parter.
Oh.
There's going to be part 1, and then there's going to be part 2.
Oh, so you're going to release the first part of the podcast right away, and then you're going to release the second part of the podcast later?
Yeah, maybe later, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week. Who knows? Maybe I'll just make y'all wait like Dr. Ketchum did.
Keep him on the edge. Well,
I'm doing it on Dr. Ketchum's time scale. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're really out of time here. This has definitely been a fantastic interview. Thank you very much, Rictor. Thank you very much, Shawn.
Thank you.
Bye.
This has been it for the BEBN Network story for now. For Shawn Evidence of BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com and Rictor Riolo of After Hours with Team Tazer, I'm Reverend Jeff, and may the Squatch be with you.
Team Tazer approved!